Welcome to the presentation, Create a High-Quality CTE Capstone course for the Design, Visual, and Media Arts pathway. Hi, I'm Ivan Bradley. We'll be examining the capstone course I design and teach at Atascadero High School titled Portfolio Development Field Experience. We'll look at the modules and their components that comprise the course. You'll be able to pick and choose the ones that work best for you, arranging them as you see fit to construct your own capstone course. I'll be providing examples of projects, assignments, along with activities and important considerations. Alignment to the 11 elements of high-quality CTE program will also be cited. The Portfolio Development Field Experience course is the capstone course in the Design, Visual, and Media Arts pathway at Atascadero High School. The pathway includes the introduction course, Introduction to Computer Applications, followed by one or more concentration courses, Graphic Communications, Computer Animation, Photography, or Video Production. The course has dual enrollment with the local community college and also meets the UC-CSU F requirement. The Portfolio Development Field Experience course consists of three primary areas: development of career exploration and job-seeking toolkit, practical hands-on application of design techniques and technology, and interaction with industry professionals. Okay, let's look at the modules and their components that make up the course. So we're going to look at 9 modules today with various components that make up each one of these: skills assessment, software review, design concepts, goal setting, personal marketing, job-seeking toolkit, career exploration, field experience, and lastly, industry connections. To begin the course, a series of assessments are done, including an interest survey where students describe why they took the class and what they hope to gain from it. Knowledge of color and topography basics and terminology, along with design concepts and processes, are evaluated through short quizzes created in Google Questions or Quiz. A simple drawing exercise is used to assess student drawing ability, and copywriting prompts provide a demonstration that looks at fundamental writing fluency. These assessments allow me to assess student strengths and weaknesses, so as I may provide review lessons of technology, including software use, and design basics. It also allows me to form teams based upon talents and student interests. Review lessons of basic use of Adobe Photoshop, Illustrator, and InDesign, industry standards, and Microsoft and/or Google business applications are done early in the school year with reteaching of skills if a need is recognized. This should be limited since students will have had prior use of the programs in their introductory and/or concentration pathway courses. In addition to technical skills, fundamental design skills are reviewed as well. Students will have been familiar with the principles and elements of design and common design processes, having learned about these and applied them not only in their pathway courses, but in their art classes, both probably at the high school and earlier in elementary school. Later in this portfolio class, lessons in forming design teams are given so students learn about contemporary methods design companies use to form design teams. Students are introduced to concepts of collaborative intelligence and mind patterns as defined in the book, Collaborative Intelligence, Thinking with People Who Think Differently by Donna Markova and Angie MacArthur. Key ideas such as, in a world where value is not just placed on things, but also on ideas, collaboration has become the most important skill. And understanding how your brain works, they refer to this as mind patterns, is essential to being the best you can be. A very common design process is design thinking. You will find the process in great use in technology-based design, such as for software interface design, user interface, and for the devices as well. The concept has 5 stages. Empathize. Observations are made of the end user, and often a profile of them is created to, in effect, put the designer in their shoes. Next, define. What are the end user's needs or problems? As a colleague and mentor for this class says in his industry design experiences, that clients' main want is just make the problem go away. Third step is ideate. Come up with the creative ideas and solutions. Follow that with a prototype or initial design for testing and feedback from the client. A return to define may be needed. This process provides creative solutions, like was needed for the truck stuck under the overpass. Workers couldn't get the truck to move forward or backwards, and were having trouble figuring out what to do, until a young boy came by and said, "Why don't you just let the air out of the tires?" Lastly, students continue to develop their design skills by participating in traditional critiques in class, where students explain their designs and respond to comments and suggestions from peers and their teacher. Fortunately, also, I've been able to arrange one-to-one critique sessions with industry professionals using Google Meet.
I'm Taryn, and I did a portrait of myself reflecting cartoon styles such as like a rubber hose cartoon style, where it's very classic, very old, like old Disney cartoons. And I did this because I love very retro style art and very sketchy.
Goal setting is essential to reaching one's goals personally and professionally. With that in mind, I believe it is important that a person first understands who they are, their wants and needs, skills, interests, and abilities. This module includes an interest survey, choosing a hero, creative type, Myers-Briggs personality test, self-portrait, and a personal mission statement. Students first do an interest survey by writing to prompts about themselves, such as favorite food, music they like, a number of siblings they have, farthest they've traveled, sports they enjoy, and so forth. A way for students to start to think about themselves, and also a way for you to get to know a little bit about your students as well. To set goals, in a way, is to look at someone who has accomplished things or is an example of a person that you admire, their talents, personality, philosophy, a hero. In this exercise, students select a hero that they admire, someone to aspire to be, to have their talents, personal characteristics, and reputation. They write a paragraph about the person and include a picture of them. We then move on to a self-assessment that has been taken by millions of people worldwide and is a common business and organizational tool, the Myers-Briggs personality test, which has its beginnings in the theory of psychological type that was introduced in the 1920s by Carl Jung. For this assignment, students take the Myers-Briggs self-assessment. A wonderful fun site is 16personalities.com/free personality test. With the results, one of the 16 personalities, students write an analysis of their type they were identified as. They use thinking maps to aid them in their writing. They describe 4 assessment areas: general characteristics, strengths and weaknesses, career paths, and workplace habits. A fun self-assessment offered by Adobe is creative type. and the website is mycreativetype.com. With the results, students create a thinking maps bubble map that includes descriptive items that the student type is identified with. There are 8 types, including artist, thinker, adventurer, maker, producer, dreamer, innovator, and visionary. The creative type is followed by students creating a self-portrait. They use any media they are comfortable with or want to explore. The idea is for them to visually express who they are, doing some self-reflection in the process. Last year's students who chose so entered their self-portraits in a self-portrait contest for high school students sponsored by the San Luis Obispo Art Museum. The portraits were displayed in the gallery along with students getting their work mounted, and for some, a cash prize at the reception that was held following the competition. As a culmination of this combination of various self-assessments, students write a personal mission statement. This helps the students focus and set goals they wish to obtain. They incorporate the who, what, where, when, and why within a sentence or two personal mission statement. As included in the title of this course, students assemble a portfolio of their work. They use Behance, though there are other options as well, including Adobe Portfolio and Bulb. Other possible portfolio choices may be a PDF file, PowerPoint or Keynote presentation, a web page created using Adobe Spark, more on that later, or perhaps even layouts created in Adobe InDesign that are exported out as an online site. A traditional portfolio is also created using printed pages of the student work and a heavier paper cover, which are wire bound. A personal brand is developed by students. This may include a personal logo and corresponding style guide. Much like the self-portrait, the personal logo or mark should closely reflect the student. Adobe Illustrator is used to create the finished logo for print use. Social media versions are also generated for common sizes and uses. The style guide defines the colors, including color mode specifications, such as RGB and CMYK and hex, as well as textures and typefaces and styles, such as headings, subheadings, and body. Using Adobe InDesign, students design and do layouts for common business products, such as letterhead, business card, and envelope. Print collateral. The personal logo is included in the design. The 3 items are mounted to a black foam board. Later, a cover letter is printed on the letterhead. As an ongoing assignment, students create a learning journal using Adobe Spark. The online site allows students to create a web page in which they write about what they're learning and doing, as well as examples of their work, including text, buttons, still images, a photo grid, video, and glide show, as well as split layout, are options for them to create this learning journal. Here's an example of one I created to document the portfolio class, including this short video of students describing their logo during a critique. Students write a resume using Microsoft Word or Google Docs to first create a draft. After revisions and wordsmithing, they produce initially a resume using a template, editing it styling. To take this a step further, they recreate the resume using Adobe InDesign, which lends its overall design power and quality layout and typographical options. As can be seen in this example, photographic and even Graphics, such as an infographic, may be included. Creating a resume using a layout such as this allows not only for the information, but a demonstration of their design and layout skills. Following the career exploration assignment, to be discussed later, students write a cover letter to the company or organization that they found a job posting for they liked in the job search assignment. Proper spelling, punctuation, and grammar is emphasized. The letter is printed on the personal letterhead they created in the earlier assignment. Later, a follow-up letter is written following a mock interview assignment. Mock interviews are conducted where behavioral interview strategies are practiced, common interview questions are incorporated, and that knowing the position, the organization, and oneself will lead to a successful interview. Interviewing virtually certainly is not uncommon, especially now. The nuances on virtual interviews are studied and can be practiced by setting up interviews between students, student and teacher, or ideally student and a professional. Employers are expected to continue with this virtual interviewing after COVID-19, especially for first interviews, so this is most important. Career exploration is an essential part of any CTE course and program. The website I use is California Career Zone. The site is powered by Headed To, a secure web-based platform designed to help students explore, plan, and prepare for a career they'll love. It's a fun site, actually. It is part of the California Career Resource Network and includes information from ONET, which is from the U.S. Department of Labor and Employment. Students either choose the Explore industry sectors if they already have an occupation in mind, or using their Holland code identified by taking the self-assessment that focuses on career and vocational choice on the basis of suitability in 6 different categories of occupations, and provides students with a list that is a good match based upon the Holland code. They then look through the list and find one that interests them. Using a worksheet, they record the following: what is the occupation area? What about the job? What are some common job titles? What do they do? What are the few things they need to know? What are the few things they need to be able to do? What is the average wage in California for this occupation? What's the outlook for the occupation? Then students go to the Make Money Choices section of Career Zone. They choose the county they would like to live in. Other choices including housing, utilities, food, transportation, etc. The costs of these are based on the county's cost of living. They then have students compare these expenses against the average income for the chosen occupation, making any adjustments they may need to make to be able to satisfy the livelihood they wish to live. Using a job search website like Indeed, students search and find at least 3 job postings of interest to them. It's not necessary that they meet the minimum requirements for the position. In fact, this is a good assignment to see the skills, knowledge, experience, and degrees certificate that they will have to acquire to apply and attain these types of jobs. For each position, they copy and paste into a Word or Google Doc the position name, location, position summary, responsibilities, qualifications, experience, education, etc., and perhaps even salary. To finish the assignment, they write a 3-paragraph cover letter using the letterhead they created earlier in the course for the position they would most likely be interested in doing as a job. They describe in their words the position representing the information they obtain. Next, they describe why this job appeals to them and how it aligns to goals they have for their future. And in the 3rd paragraph, they indicate the education, training, On-the-job experience, internships, and/or apprenticeships they think they will need to do realistically apply and obtain this job. This is probably the most difficult part of setting up a course like this, where field experience is an important part of it. Finding employers willing to have students either intern or job shadow is not easy, as you're probably well aware of, especially now given the effects of COVID. It has been causing layoffs and a move to working remotely for many businesses. I do have some students doing limited internships. We've had field trips last year and connect with professionals via Google Meet or Zoom for students to hear directly and learn about the jobs that these people do. What has worked well is to simulate a creative business. A school-based enterprise was developed that works like an in-house design and production studio. Students have produced work not only for schools in the district, including the high school, but also businesses and organizations. Monies obtained from the work goes into our ASB account to assist in obtaining items for the class where needed, but also class activities and, more importantly, for membership dues for the students to be members of the Future Business Leaders of America. The combination of a school-based enterprise and this club membership allows students to learn about the business side of a creative arts business. Students learn about such things as writing creative briefs, filling out invoices, and basic accounting principles, not to mention working with clients, presenting the student or design teams design concepts. During business meetings, students do presentations with charts and infographics, practice Robert's Rule of Order, create an agenda, and write minutes. Additionally, I do a couple of lessons on Stephen Covey's 7 Habits of Highly Successful People, which I feel is quite appropriate for this aspect of the course. Here are some examples of student work that they've done the past couple of years. Typically, the work is done in teams, often using the design thinking process described earlier. They also work closely with the class mentor, Jeffrey Bacon, who I will talk about next in Industry Connections. He provides additional guidance in the design process, offers suggestions, and provides critique of work.
Show it.
Share it. Wear it. Get it.
We can all be part of supporting our Special Olympic athletes by getting the gear that cheers them on to victory.
Hello, I'm Harry the Hound, a digital mascot and spokesperson for Atascadero High School in Central California. I was created by high school senior Michelle Wilson to provide live and pre-recorded messaging to students regarding COVID-19 safety and updates. As a dog, I can resonate with kids and teens better than any adult or teacher. I can also provide a genderless and ethnically neutral face for the student body. I am controlled real-time with face tracking technology. That means anyone with a webcam can bring me to life. I look forward to speaking with you soon. Perhaps you will be the next person to give me a voice.
I am fortunate to have met and worked with an industry professional that brings a wealth of knowledge, skills, and experience in the creative arts. His name is Jeffrey Bacon. He and partners had a design business of over 180 employees at one time. that did design work in the ALA area, primarily for the film industry. You can see examples of posters that Mr. Bacon worked on in the background of this picture. He's worked with James Cameron, George Lucas, Arnold Schwarzenegger, and a number of others that you would recognize. I was able to partner with him over the past 3 or 4 years as a mentor for students in my portfolio class, getting some funding through CTE funds. He has such contacts with not only the people in the profession that we've been able to work with for interviewing, for critiques and stuff, distance learning wise, but also local businesses in which we've been able to connect and have students do work for them. Very fortunate to have Mr. Bacon. I'm sure that you probably have connections with people in the industry, retired or still working, that can also make connections and be a part of your capstone course. Please contact me at Ivan Bradley at atasUSD.org. If there's any resources or anything else that I can help you with, please do so. Thank you.